Previously on Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney.
A G's not a G until he does hard time. Bizooey. 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 You'll see. When I get out of here, things will change.
Silence! True G's move in silence like lasagna. Hello! I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to Ace Attorney and day one of the trial of Waki Kentucky. June 16th, 9:46 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Huh. Mr. Wright's not here today? He said his old foot injury was acting up. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes, he smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Yes, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice! I started my voice training at 5 this morning.
Ooh, do some now. I want to see. Here.
Huh? Oh, okay. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine! That sounds more like a self-mantra than a voice training. Waki?
I'm fine. You know what I'm saying?
Ah! Good morning.
Yo, sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care. You just hang loose and let things go with the flow, you know what I'm saying?
Not really. Waki, don't be running your mouth like that in here.
See, that's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen.
You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Sounds like they've both been voice training too, Apollo.
My worst fears realized. The trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. And we're not going to get one. June 16th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 4.
I knew it.
Yes, I'm very smart. Court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kentucky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Ready to rock and roll here, Judge.
That's him, the guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor?
It's Mr. Gavin's brother. Oh, when I looked up how to pronounce Clavier's name, I found out that Clavier is German for piano, but I'm not giving him a German accent I've already committed. It's Mr. Gavin's brother. Long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, ja? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial. Not to worry here, Judge. I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, ja? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? It was worth canceling a show or two. Understood. You may give your opening statements to the court. Before that, I was thinking, is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping here, Judge. They're not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom. Octoon, baby. Today we play it my way. What's that noise? Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down to prosecuting. This is crazy. The victim, Paul Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene, People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was the doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe you will only find that out by asking the defendant. Right here, right now. because it's an undeniable truth that he shot the victim.
What do you mean undeniable?
If you are to glare at anyone here, Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see.
Very well. Please admit this witness to the court.
Oh, hello.
9. Not yet. I'm beginning to regret my stance on not giving him an accent. First, there's a little matter to be cleaned up.
Could you talk without the accompaniment? I swear I could see the guitar for a second.
What is it, Prosecutor Gavin?
The motive here, Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic?
Objection! Not so fast. The defendant doesn't have to explain that.
Oh, but what if the defendant specifically requests to do so, as he did this morning? I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said.
What?
What is right? They always say that on stage, you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly?
She's not going to stop calling me Polly, is she?
Well, this is highly unusual, but the court will now hear from the defendant concerning his motive in the crime. So, you, son, are the defendant. Waki, are you?
You ain't your son, old man. You step to a Kentucky, you best be prepared to step strong.
You step to a public official, you'd best be prepared to step into jail.
You gotta hand it to him, Waki sure has guts.
It's not his guts I'm worried about, it's his head. Being on a chopping block.
Well, then the court will now hear testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself.
What is he up to?
Waki Kentucky's truth. I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Somebody had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later. Bye. So I gotta go in, get another doctor patch me up again. That was the day I done figured it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. Know what I'm saying?
You're saying you were one of the victim's patients?
A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True that. I tell you one thing, that doc was a whack.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all of this. Cross-examination, start.
I'll tell you one thing, that doctor was a quacker.
Hold it!
First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor.
Who asked you, pointy locks? Just who do you think you are?
Your lawyer?
Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He is a quacker, plain and simple. Someone had to show him what's what.
Hold it!
By someone, you mean... Was there anyone with a score to settle with this doctor? Besides you, I mean.
You better ask somebody else, Holmes. What do I care? I made up my own mind and did what had to be done. Straight gangster style.
But why were you so mad at this doctor?
Yo, sit back and listen while I drop it, J-Man. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op something bad.
So you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago? For what reason?
Yeah, what you might call a mark of honor.
Can you explain precisely what was wrong?
We had a little run-in with the Rivales family. That's when I pulled a jack move. He ran into an ambush. She busted a cap right in me.
According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting. and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time by yourself.
Hey, I was more than a match for those guys.
So you were carried to the Maractus clinic from there?
Apparently, he was shot in the heart.
What? Shot in the heart and he's still alive? I can catch bullets between my teeth. But I never learned how to catch them with my heart. The bullet stopped just short of my thumper, you know what I'm saying? I would have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out stupid bullet.
So, as you say, the surgery was a failure.
That ain't all of it, Holmes. And then he just lets me go without a word. See you later, bye.
What do you mean he just let you go without a word?
What do you think it means? It's whack, that's what.
I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds bad.
It sounds as though her doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go.
He's a liar, straight up. He's a better G than me. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again.
So this bullet is still...
You'll know it, I can still feel it. Right here in my chest, pressing up against my eye.
Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles.
Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice.
Word, J, man. Word, no accident, that's for shizzle.
It seems that there were issues with this doctor.
Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor. Wacky, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo, back straight.
But why did this mistake only come to the light that day?
It was found during the family health checkup.
That family health checkup? That was the wackest thing of all. All his G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Dude like cut my scrotum like it was a dice bag and told me to turn my head and cough and everything. It was embarrassing. Better die young than fade away, Bizzle.
A relief to hear.
Yeah? What's the relief?
Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry so close to your heart? Not attended to immediately. It could kill you.
What?
Yes, head Dr. Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life.
No way! That's whacked!
There is proof. Your checkup report. Walkie's checkup report added to the court record. Results from a checkup performed in June. Metallic object found near heart. How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. You're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started.
Started?
We've had enough of a warm-up act, yeah? Time to hear from the witness.
Walkie sure is quiet all of a sudden.
I'm a little uneasy myself. Is this Gavin's strategy?
I have no idea what's... Excuse me?
So, you will tell us your name and occupation. Hello?
Hello?
My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take it you refer to some of the profit society at large, which is under which a definition, however, we must acknowledge the meaning of, which is commonly approached.
Oh my God! I don't even see the point in reading this.
By which he means to say that he is a student. A junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. In the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my... Herr Stickler, Please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today.
Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime.
You asked quite simplistically what I saw. However, understand that Homo sapiens is designed to receive and interpret it.
Oh my God. I really hate it when they do that.
A night in the park. That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front square in the forehead.
Nope, that's wrong. Temple. Right temple, I think.
Was there anyone else in the park at that time?
I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not.
The pistol our witness refers to is this.
The court accepts this into evidence.
I knew he'd have it.
Okay, weapon left at the crime scene. 2 rounds were fired. Fingerprints were white.
Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness.
Yes, Your Honor. Trucy? Why are you staring like that at the witness?
That man. I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before.
Really? Cross-examination, start.
That night, I passed through the park on my way home from shopping when I saw them.
On the way home from shopping, you say? Why go through the park?
Yeah, fascinating inquiry. Revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes, 24 seconds to ergo on the time to complete. However, in the case that the questions are in the verbal...
That's enough. Enough. I get the idea. Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish this cross-examination sometime this month.
Please, I have a recording booked after this trial.
And I've got a show to perform.
Gee, sorry you're all so busy.
One man pulling a stand, another man facing him.
Were these men talking by any chance?
Yeah, now that you mention it, they were, although I cannot claim I heard them clearly. Only fragments, such as, you lied to me, oh, and I'm going to give you a taste of your own medicine, pal.
It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart.
If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony.
Yeah, it sounds like you heard them clearly enough to me. But?
Might I be allowed to amend my testimony?
The what now?
To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear it on my diploma.
What's the difference? And this other man, who is he?
I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant.
How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crime took place at night. It would have been too dark.
Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier.
Yeah?
You see, in class, I always sit in the very backmost seat. Do you know why?
Who cares?
Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes.
And this relates to your testimony. How?
I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there are lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is a hard, immutable fact. He sure is confident.
He seems to be telling the truth, too.
In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand.
Are you sure the pistol you saw is the same as the one just submitted as evidence?
Am I sure? Surely you jest.
I do not jest, and please don't call me Shirley. I've got enough problems with a little Miss Magical over here calling me Polly.
Or so a common witness would be tempted to say.
Huh?
Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, we must consider the fact that it was night in the park. My field of vision, due to insufficient levels of illumination, consider that the object, let's call it, becomes difficult to say with certainty that object A was indeed object A.
I think he means he couldn't see it that clearly. My badge for a normal witness.
Yet the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely certain only one shot was fired?
Yes. Of course it was one shot. Why do you ask?
Aha! A contradiction, finally! Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, the pistol was fired twice. A clear contradiction. Good eyes, Herr Justice. You're cool. Real cool.
Yeah? Did you really think so?
What? Oh, that's right. You have a show after this. Anyway, yet there is no reason why this other shot had to have been fired that night. Meaning? This pistol came from the Kitaki family mansion, ja? I think it's not unreasonable to assume the pistol had been fired once before that night. During, perhaps, another altercation? He's got a point.
Judging from his smug expression, I'd say Prosecutor Gavin had that answer ready before you even spotted the problem.
He seems pretty confident in his testimony.
We always make the biggest mistakes when we're our most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it.
Right. Better give that testimony another listen. Okay. And now I present, let's see. Here. Autopsy report? Yep. And it was the right temple. Oh.
Objection!
Whew. If that's all of it, I think I have a chance. Is that you relaxing, I see, Herr Justice? No? Oh, Objection! Was this quite enough, Mr. Justice?
Apollo, pace yourself. This trial's not over yet.
Ah! Oh, right. Look at this. The autopsy report? Is there a problem with the autopsy report? Right, a problem. Problem. Yes! The problem is the location of the entry wound. Location? You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead, did you not?
I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not in the absolute. And what do I mean by this? For example, the deflection of the wavelength of light emitted by a krypton particle. It is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare in the naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reads.
Mr. Justice!
Yeah?
Was your objection to these, krypton particle thingies? This is the big time. And you are obsessed with something so small. You disappoint me.
No, I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here.
Do tell. Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple.
Temple?
Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? It is, right? Finally.
Objection!
Herr Justice. Oh, Herr Justice.
Yeah.
Your tactics are outdated. Trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles? Surely you haven't forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago? Phoenix Wright, was it?
What?
Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony.
Yeah.
Hey, Herr Forehead. Forehead? Let us imagine you are walking through the park. You see two men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, Herr Forehead?
Well, I guess I would try to stop them. Probably shout, "Stop!"
And you, Fräulein?
Me? Well, I'd probably scream, "Eek!"
And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder? If the victim turned his head at the last moment...
Yes. Thank you for jogging my memory.
It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required.
Okay, so were you to his left or to his right? That's going to be important. A night in the park, 2.
As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. "Cease this at once, you two!" I cried, with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
I see. So you attempted to stop the crime.
Indeed. With composure.
Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. That doesn't really matter now, unfortunately. Let us consider this new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please," or something of this nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at just that moment, oh, damn it, it would have hit him in his right temple. Crap. As we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, as in the report.
That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science.
Very well, Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness.
Cross-examination start.
As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action.
Hold it!
So, you saw a raised pistol. Weren't you frightened?
It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw that pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action.
That was certainly brave of you. You might have gotten shot.
Eh?
You certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly wouldn't have left a witness behind.
He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger. Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed. "Cease this at once, you two," I cried, with composure.
Hold it!
Are you sure both men were able to hear your voice?
They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park.
And the victim responded to that clarion call.
Wait. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out.
Hold it!
Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turned?
Indeed. I would say about the same time, to be precise.
And the victim didn't ask you for help?
It can be said that he didn't have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step.
I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trucy, please.
Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened.
Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly?
He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed.
He simply couldn't believe what he had done. He shot. He panicked. A common tale, but true.
Unfortunately, before I could take further action, tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
You didn't try to apprehend the criminal.
It all happened so fast, I'm afraid I hadn't the time.
Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? Yeah. No way he had time to wipe the fingerprints from the gun in the manner that Stickler described the sequence of events. The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away. According to the testimony, that's what happened, yeah. In that case, I'd expect to find something that we didn't find. Find something? Find what? Fingerprints! I like that contradiction. Kind of sad to see it go. As sad as I feel, what do we do now?
At least the testimony's getting a little clearer.
Yeah, she's right. Maybe I can find something to use in this new testimony. All right. Let's see. Here. Oh, damn it. Press the wrong button. Okay, here.
Objection!
Wait a second.
Tisk, tisk. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you.
Come again?
Wait a second, you say? A second? Are we intended to wait just that? A single second, 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw a breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes or...
Mr. Justice,
Yes, Your Honor.
am I to understand you are objecting to the length of a second?
Yeah, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it.
Common ploy. Made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints.
Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran.
That's right.
He didn't have time to wipe the gun for prints. Little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there. I'm not let out. Then let's think like adults, shall we, Fraulein?
Eh?
What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves? I gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Well, Mr. Justice,
Could the killer have been wearing gloves? Nope. Because there was a knife with his fingerprints found at the scene. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were white, which means some trace of prints remained, which contradicts your testimony. Well, there's that as well. If everything happened as you say it did, he wouldn't have had time to wipe the pistol.
That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant, he threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting that this was the weapon he disposed of.
That sounds solid to me. Well, Hair Forehead, any of your precious objections?
What gives, Apollo? Let's see that voice training go to work.
You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say.
What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said?
Nah, isn't what obvious?
When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Waki drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same as being 100% sure of what Waki threw away.
You're right.
He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must have been hard to be so perfect and yet so wrong. Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. While it is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote a that was seized by the teacher and posted on the blackboard for all to see, the appellation of poor may well be prefixed to my name. But
What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something. Does the defense have anything to say about this?
yes. Well, what if what he threw wasn't a pistol?
And it had to be something else. At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking.
I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin. Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene?
This.
Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late night movie last night.
Great, a sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime with the defendant's prints on it.
His prints.
This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, that what the defendant threw down wasn't a pistol. Two, that the defendant wasn't wearing gloves.
Indeed.
Oh, Hair Forehead, you're forgetting two other things you've just proven. One, that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Mr. Waki Kitaki. Two, that the defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim.
Ow.
Indeed.
Never underestimate a Gavin is a lesson here.
This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please.
It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left after him. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch up to him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming. Yes, that's what I said. Assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are assuming that my assumption is no better.
What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired.
From shot to call. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Why didn't you chase the killer?
Dude. He was, as you say, a killer. I am not an idiot. Clearly. Of course, I could have run him down, yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that.
Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? Do we not also now know that there was no one else there? It seems clear that we have our killer. Does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice?
I'd better find a way to take this testimony down quick.
Cross-examination, start. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene.
Which way did the killer run?
By that time, it was clear the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction.
That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kataki mansion. Achtung, don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop back once he was out of sight.
How did he know that's where I was going? Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience.
You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing.
If one is to devote one's life to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask upon the lab room floor.
Ooh, cool answer. Very cool. So nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like she has something to say.
Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police.
Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance?
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism, a proof in 3 parts, exquisite, simply exquisite.
He actually looked like he was going to cry. What is it, Trucy?
Gone with the wind? Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes?
I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all, which is to say, I saw nothing.
It was late at night. It's not odd to think there would be few people around in the park.
So he just stood there watching? Not much to go on there.
Trucy, if you've got something to say, by all means, please say it.
Can't find a single problem with that testimony. Had enough at last here, forehead? Maybe it's time to back off a bit?
No.
The defense still has some questions that demand answers, Your Honor.
Your opinion, Prosecutor Gavin?
Oh, let him play attorney until he's satisfied, I say. I will amuse myself by composing my next smash hit in my head.
Very well, you may continue with the cross-examination.
Crap. I'm going to have to present something. I wonder. I mean, seems extremely unlikely, but I haven't taken a point yet, so...
Objection!
Nope, that's not it. This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor.
How exactly are the evidence and the statement just now related?
They aren't, are they?
Damn it!
Not at all. Mr. Justice, please think the facts over before making accusations.
I don't think that won me 8 points with the judge. I don't know. Let's see. 10 minutes later. Hang on. Okay, between 10:15 and 10:45 p.m. Has he mentioned the time at all? No, that's not much. Well, hang on. Is there no way out? Hmm. Crap. All right, let's try presenting the map here. Because the problem is I can't see the other, I can't see the entire park. Ah. Well, let's try.
Objection!
Nope. Music didn't stop. Well, damn. Wait. Let's see. No, that's no help. That's 9:30. Crap. Wait, what? It's kind of odd, though. What is? I mean, okay, no. It's not that. We've already done this. Okay, saw no one else. Next 10 minutes. Crap. Okay, I can't find anything. This witness is way too self-assured. There's got to be a weakness somewhere in his testimony. Okay, I guess
Hold it!
I'll just press here and let the judge ask me if I want to give up and give up. This game has an autosave after all, so it should be fine. Yeah, Tracy, please say something. Maybe there isn't anything left to unravel in this testimony after all. Some of us have glamorous careers we'd like to get back to this month, Hair Forehead. Nah, they don't have enough to put Wacky away yet. Should I back off for now? Yes. Now there's nothing fishy about that testimony at all.
It appears there are no objections to the witness's current testimony.
There are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion.
No. No!
It seems we've come to the end of the line here.
No, that can't be all.
How unfortunate. It seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Hair Forehead?
I believe this brings the cross-examination to a close. This court will now declare a verdict for the defendant, Unca Crunk.
Hold it! Eek! What? Tracy! Nobody move!
What's the meaning of this? Who are you?
There'll be no verdict in this court, not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kentuckys?
The Kentuckys? You mean the notorious gangsters?
If you don't want to see me give the pretty little girl a new smile, do as I say. Or join the court for 20 minutes.
What? This court will now bow to pressure from the likes of...
Here, Judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman.
Recess, 20 minutes, or I promise you will regret it. What? Wait, how did he disappear so fast? Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo.
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess. Bailiff, catch that mysterious man.
To be continued in the next episode. To the outro. Well, crap. Apparently, sometimes the right thing to do is just give up. But now, Trucy's been kidnapped by someone who doesn't want a guilty verdict for Walkie. So now we have a hostage situation to deal with on top of everything else. Where's Gumshoe when you need him? At least we have a bit of breathing space for some sort of evidence to come to light. But yeah, I think this might be part of what Phoenix was talking about with the preliminary trial system being interest to the pursuit of justice. We didn't have any time to build a defense. We didn't even have an opportunity to talk to our friggin' client before the trial started. Anywho, up here is a playlist of my Danganronpa V3 playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!